Hi, boys. It's January 12th now, and just reading through today's passages, I'm kind of always struck when I get to this part on Isaac that he is such a minor character because after all the anticipation, Abraham waiting around for that son forever and almost sacrificing him, and you'd think, okay, well, something major is going to happen with him in the narrative, but it really doesn't. And almost everything that is written about Isaac are things that happen to him, not something that he's actively involved in. So I was kind of wondering why he was such a minor character in his own life and in the tale of Scripture. Maybe one day we'll find out there was much more to his life than what we have recorded in Scripture. But at least the author here is telling us that Isaac didn't have a whole lot to contribute to history, I guess. It's also interesting, just in connection with that, in the Matthew passage, it's talking about Matthew is introduced here, and Matthew wrote this book, and the only time he's mentioned is right here, where he's just sitting at the tax collector's booth and is called to follow Jesus, and he gets up and follows him, and then they have a dinner at Matthew's house, and really that's all that's recorded about him too. And I think certainly Matthew is recording little about himself out of humility, but Isaac is kind of a mystery. Why so little about him? And then of course you have the tale of Jacob and Esau, and Isaac can't recognize them in his old age and is tricked into the blessings that happen around that. So yeah, I guess there's um, maybe a lesson in the absence of his uh, participation in the record here, that maybe he just wasn't as um, involved as he needed to be in his kids' lives and what the Lord was doing with him. So I think we need to be active players in our lives and certainly in touch with the Lord and what He's doing too. So that's something I would say certainly from this passage. The Proverbs passage too: honor the Lord with your wealth, with the first fruits of all your crops, that your barns will be filled to overflowing, and your vats will brim over with new wine. Um, Something about tithing there, I think that we want to take with us too, that we want to make sure that the Lord has the first part of every part of our life, and then what follows from that is His blessing. So maybe that's something that Isaac needed to keep in mind in his life too, is that he needed to give his attention to the Lord and his Lord's working in his life to be blessed and to be a blessing to those in his life too. So I don't know, some things to think about from today's passages. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. Bye.